Making it here. Thank you for making it here so early in the morning. We are going to get started right away. I am going to call this executive committee meeting to order at 9:31 a.m. And we're going to start off with the territorial land acknowledgement. The acknowledgement reads, "We respectfully acknowledge that the SFSS is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Katzie First Nations. Unceded means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we are currently situated on occupied territories." We're now going to go into a roll call of attendance. When I call on your position, please state your name, your pronouns, and if all your access needs are met. I will start with myself. Good morning, everyone. My name is Helen. My pronouns are she, her. All my access needs are met, but I do need to log off at 10:30 to attend a virtual doctor's appointment. Let's go over to our VP internal.
Hi, everyone. My name is Judith. She, her pronouns. All my access needs are met.
Thank you, Judith. VP Finance.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abby. He, him, his pronouns. All my access needs are met. Thank you.
Thank you. VP UAA.
Hi, my name is Nikki. She, her pronouns. In terms of the access needs, I also have a virtual doctor appointment, but it starts at 10:45. Actually, no, it's in person at health and counseling, so I got to walk over right away. And in other access needs, I'll let you know. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go over to our VP external.
Hi everyone, my name is Ishana. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and all my access needs are met. The only thing is that sometimes my Wi-Fi cuts out, so that may happen, but just be patient, please. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Ishana. Let's go over to our VP Equity.
Hi everyone, Ria, she, her, and they, them pronouns. Then access needs are met. I'll just keep my camera off.
Thank you. VP Events.
Hi, my name is Webho. My pronouns are he, him, his, and my access needs are met. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's go over to our society staff, our board organizer.
Hi everyone, this is Ella, pronouns she, her, hers, and my access needs are met this morning.
Thank you, Ella. Building manager is not here, so let's go over to our operations organizer.
Hi everyone, my name is Aisha. My pronouns are she, her, hers. My access needs are met.
Thank you so much. I don't think, no, Beatty is not here, but we do have Fanny. Fanny, you can go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Fanny. Pronouns are she, her, and hers, and all my access needs are met.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's move on to the consent agenda. Item 4 is the consent agenda. The motion reads, be it resolved to adopt the agenda or adopt the consent agenda by unanimous consent. We have some meeting minutes to approve as well, which is exec from June 3rd. So I'm just going to seek unanimous consent here. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please raise your hand or indicate in the chat. Seeing none, this is carried through. Let's go over to the adoption of the agenda, item 5 here. It reads, be it resolved to adopt the agenda as presented. May I get a mover for this motion?
VP Finance.
VP Finance moves, and someone to second this?
CPUAA.
VPUAA seconds. I'm going to open the floor for discussion here. Okay, list, Abby.
I'd like to move the to amend the agenda and add 2 motions to the agenda, please.
Okay.
First being, so my plan here would be is to move 8.1 down to 8.2 and have a new 8.1, which would be executive committee vice chair elections. I'll just throw that and oopsies. That in the chat.
Okay.
And then I'd also like to add a motion called ratification of actions. That would be 8.3. I'm going to throw that in the chat and then this here. Oh, come on. Sorry, it's just not letting me copy paste it for some reason. Give me a second, please. I have it in a Word doc. Yes. Okay, I'm just going to read it out loud. I'll try and figure out how to copy paste this. This is long, so I apologize. I'm going to try and speed run it, and I'll say it slowly later. Whereas on or about May 17th, 2022, a letter was signed by the GSS executive, TSSU executive, SOCA, SFPIRG, SFU350, and DNA wrote to SFU and demanding the firing of Lee Jean Broshko, which purported to be concurred in by the SFSS executive. Whereas a meeting was scheduled for June 13, 2022 between SFU, the GSS executive, and other signatories within the GSS letter, including members of the SFSS executive, to discuss the contents of the SFU communities letter to SFU regarding the general counsel letter. Whereas the current SFSS executive had not taken a position on the SFU communities letter to SFU regarding the general counsel letter prior to June 14, 2022. Whereas on or about June 11, 2022, members of the SFS executive committee petitioned for a meeting to discuss whether to endorse the SFU communities letter to SFU regarding the general counsel letter. And whereas on or about June 12, 2022, the SFSS VP internal, acting with the agreement of the SFSS president, wrote to SFU and requested to adjourn the June 13th meeting to allow the SFSS executive to formulate its position on the SFU communities letter to SFU regarding the general counsel letter. And whereas the president and VP internal were at all times acting in good faith to allow the SFSS executive to properly consider the ramifications of endorsing the SFU communities letter to SFU regarding the general counsel letter, and with a view to protect the society's interests. And whereas the VP internal has expressed remorse for contacting SFU to request an adjournment without first informing the other signatories of the SFU communities letter to SFU regarding the general counsel letter, be it resolved the SFSS executive ratify and adopt the decision of the president and VP internal to seek adjournment of the June 13th meeting, despite the fact that prior notice was not provided to the signatories of the SFU communities letter to SFU regarding the general counsel letter. Sorry, that was an absolute mouthful. And for whatever reason, I can't copy off my Word doc, and I don't know why. So I'm going to try typing all that out.
Okay, thank you, Abby. I just wrote in the chat, if you can please at least just like put that in a Word document and just drop the Word document in the chat so then everyone can see if you're not able to copy and paste that entire motion into the chat directly. Okay, so we have two amendments here. It's adding 8.1 for a vice chair election, and then that motion that Abby just read out is 8.3, moving the original 8.1 to 8.2. Abby, I see that you want to move this as the bringer of this motion, so I'm going to ask for a seconder.
VPUAA.
Okay, VPUAA seconds this amendment. I'm going to open the floor for discussion on it. Seeing none, let's take this to a vote seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please raise your hand, indicate in the chat. Seeing none, the amendment is carried through. We're going to go back to the original motion, which now will read, be it resolved to adopt the agenda as amended. I'm going to open the floor for discussion again. Seeing none, let's take this to a vote. I'm going to seek unanimous consent here. Seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please say so, indicate in the chat. Seeing none, this motion is carried as amended. All right. We are now going to move to item 6 on the agenda, which is to move in camera. The motion reads, sorry, may I ask for my Robert's Rules of Order friends here. Before we move in camera, we have to do the mover and seconder ex camera, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. All right, so the motion reads, be it resolved to go in camera for the remainder of the meeting. May I have a mover for this?
VP internal.
VP internal moves and someone to second it.
VPUAA.
VPUAA seconds. All right, so we need to take a vote for this, opening the floor for discussion on it. Seeing none, let's take this to a vote, seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please say so. Seeing none, the motion is carried. I'm going to ask that we have breakout rooms be open for all the executives to go in camera at this time.
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
Thank you.
Okay, that should be all the executives. Let me just make sure we're all good. No one's missing. Perfect. All right, thank you. Be right back. Oh, Paul, I'm sorry, I need to stop the recording.
Okay, all. Thank you for waiting and thank you for letting execs come back into the room. I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're just waiting for Nikki.
Nikki was in here. I think she just lagged out or something.
Okay. Okay. I think we can just keep going forward. I hope she gets back in here soon, though. Okay, let's just keep going with our agenda. All right, so we are now back at X camera. The motion reads, be it resolved to go X camera for the remainder of the meeting. May I have a mover for this?
VP Finance.
Okay, I'll second it.
Moves it. Nikki seconds it. Okay. I'm going to open the floor for discussion on this. Seeing none, this motion is carried. All right. Let's now move to new business. Again, we have just amended the agenda. And first things on the agenda will be the vice chair election, which—
Sorry, Helen, Ishana just had a list.
Okay, sorry about that, Ishana. I didn't see that. You can go for it.
Oh, sorry, I retract. Sorry, wrong time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. So for Executive Committee Vice Chair elections, the motion reads, be it resolved to appoint X as Vice Chair of the Executive Committee of the 2022-2023 Council year. May I have a mover for this?
VP Finance.
Okay, I heard VP Finance moves, and then Judith, I think you second that, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we're now going to open the floor for discussion. I'm also going to call for nominations as well. So if you want to put yourself on the list, like just put yourself there. This is the first call for nominations. All right. I'm going to start with, wait, no, Ishana, you retracted your list. Nikki, you have the floor.
I nominate Abby.
Okay. Abby, do you accept this nomination?
Yes, and I retract my list. Thank you.
Okay. This is the second call for nominations. Okay, this is the third call for nominations. All right, and we are closing it up now, which means that Abby, it's uncontested. You are going to be vice chair for the rest of this year, so congratulations. We're now going to amend the motion by replacing X with Abby's name in it. So the amendment will read, be it resolved to appoint, sorry, I'm just going back up the chat here to see it. Be resolved to appoint Abhishek Parmar as vice chair of the executive committee of the 2022-2023 council year. I will move this amendment. May someone second this?
VP Internal.
VP Internal seconds. I'm going to open the floor for discussion on the amendment. Seeing none, the amendment is carried. We're now going back to the original motion, which will now read, be it resolved to appoint Abhishek Parmar as the vice chair of the executive committee for the 2022-2023 council year. Opening the floor for discussion once again. Going to close discussion and take this to a vote. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please say so in the chat or raise your hand. Seeing none, this motion is carried. Abby, congratulations. You're now vice chair for the executive committee. Let's now move over to 8.2 on our agenda, which is the original 8.1 motion, which reads issuing apology to SFU over the letter. The motion reads, whereas a letter calling for the firing of a high-level SFU employee has been sent to SFU dated May 17th of 2022, whereas the signatories on the letter include the GSS executive, TSSU executive, SFSS executive, SFU 350, SOCA, SF-PERG, and DNA, whereas the current SFSS executive did not consent to being a part of the letter, whereas our signature on the letter is non-removable as SFU has received the letter in question, whereas the SFSS executive was not notified of the letter being sent to SFU until June 9th of 2022, whereas majority of the SFS executive do not support the letter sent to SFU Be it resolved to issue an immediate apology to SFU denouncing the letter and condemning the actions of the 2021-2022 Executive Committee. Be it further resolved that the apology statement will be released publicly via the SFSS membership mailing lists and social medias if the letter created by the GSS executive, TSSU executive, SFU 350, SOCA, SF-PERG, and DNA is released publicly. Be it further resolved that the executive committee's apology statement be shared with the SFSS council if the letter by the GSS executive, TSSU executive, SFU 350, SOCA, SF-PERG, and DNA is ever brought to council to any capacity. May I have a mover for this motion?
VP Internal.
VP Internal moves. May I have someone second this?
VP Finance.
VP Finance seconds. We're going to open the floor for discussion on this motion.
Sorry, I'm first on the list, if that's okay.
I'm just trying to like go back here because I know these were brought even before the motion. Okay, I'm just going to ask for clarity. Ishana, when you listed at 10:16 a.m., is this in regards to this motion? It was in camera. Okay.
I think she'd have to relist.
Okay, I'm just going to ask that to make things easier for this motion, I'm just going to ask that people list in the chat. Okay, thank you. We're refreshed here. Abby, you have the floor.
For the sake of making sure Nikki can get out of here on time, I'm going to call the question.
You're going to call the question. All right. So you're moving to call the question.
I'll second.
Okay, Judith seconds. We have to take this to a vote to call the question. So I'm going to seek unanimous consent here. So seeking unanimous consent on calling the question. If you wish to dissent, please indicate in the chat.
You can't move a motion while another motion is pending, Rhea.
So if you dissent, actually, I'm going to make this easier. We're voting on calling the question to vote on this motion. So I'm going to go by roll call vote. I'm going to start with all voting members of the executive committee, starting with myself. I vote in favor of calling the question. VP Internal?
In favor.
In favor. VP Finance?
In favor.
In favor. VP UAA?
In favor.
Thank you. VP External?
Against.
VP Equity?
Against, as this is a contested issue.
Okay, and VP Events?
Favor.
All right, thank you. So that is 5-2, which means calling the question is carried by majority, which means
Two-thirds. Calling the question requires two-thirds majority.
Thank you, Judith, which we have. If I need to do the math here, I will do it.
71%, we're good.
Thank you so much, Abby. So which means we have to go straight to a vote on this motion. So let's get into it then. I'm going to start with myself for this motion, and I vote in favor. VP Internal?
In favor.
Thank you. VP Finance?
In favor.
Thank you. VP UAA? VP UAA?
In favor, sorry. Can you
We
hear
have
me?
a point of order in the chat.
Okay, we have a point of order.
Yeah, I'm just a little confused because I've said multiple times that I wanted to move to postpone the motion.
The problem is, Rhea, that we're voting and you can't move a motion when we're voting. And I called the question, which means we have to vote now. So there isn't really space for you to move or change anything about the motion anymore.
I know I did vote. I did also speak about voting to move to postpone the motion as well in our in-camera session too.
Okay, we have a point of order here. Nikki?
My point of order, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. My point of order is just to the chair, like if you can uphold Robert's rules for when people are supposed to be speaking and not supposed to be speaking, just so to help expedite this, since we did majority vote, 2/3 call to order or call to question. Sorry.
Thank you, Nikki. Abby has called the question, Rhea, so we need to keep following the procedure, and that is to vote on this motion. When you move to postpone the motion, calling the question had already been called. So, and we were already voting for that. So we have to keep voting, Ria. I'm sorry. We have to keep voting, Ria, for this motion. So where was I at?
We just had VP UAA so far.
So I vote in favor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Also, Ria can't direct response.
We're in voting, so there's no room for speaking right now at this time, unfortunately. Okay, VP external. I don't remember if I got your vote.
Against.
Okay, thank you, VPX. VP equity.
I'm against, but I also wanted to clarify, like on the record as well, that I did express the intention to move the motion prior to the voting and also in the X camera as well.
Ria, you need to be recognized via the list to move a motion. Abby was recognized first and he called the question and that was seconded and that went to a vote.
But previous.
I'm going to come in here and just say we are voting on this motion. The question was called. We have to keep voting on this. Ria, you voted against. I need to get Vaibhav's vote now.
In favor.
Thank you. With that being said, this is a 5-2 vote. It's 2/3 majority, 71%, which means this motion is
You're muted.
Did you hear me say that it was?
No, we didn't.
No? Okay. So what I had just said was that this is a 5-2 vote in favor. It is 2/3 majority, 71%, which means the motion is carried. Let's move over to our last item. And that is 8.3. Abby had amended it onto the agenda called ratification of actions.
That's right.
And then
At this point in time, I'd like to declare that I have conflict and I will be leaving this meeting and will not be returning until this discussion and vote has concluded. Goodbye, everyone.
okay, so reading this motion as well, I do also want to declare that I do have a conflict of interest for this, which means I can't be voting on it whatsoever, which means I need to pass over my chairing powers now over to our vice chair. So I'm going to declare my conflict of interest and provide all my chairing powers to Abby. So he's now chair and I will be leaving this meeting now.
Thank you, Helen and Judith. Ishana, you have a point of order?
Yeah, also like just for like the last motion, just move to reconsider as well, because I feel like we didn't have enough time to discuss as well for this and also like to say what we wanted to say. So I'm just worried that we didn't get enough time to speak to what we wanted to.
So is that a motion you're moving?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're moving the motion to reconsider. Is there
Yeah,
a seconder?
due to fairness. Pardon?
Sorry?
Yeah, just due to fairness.
Sorry, I was asking for a seconder.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry.
VP equity.
VP equity, Nikki, you have a point of order?
I'm not sure if somebody can call a motion to reconsider in this kind of circumstance right now.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure either, but just for the sake of fair process, I think we can have a vote on it. So I'm going to call for the vote. I don't think there's much to discuss on this, if everyone's okay with that. So president and internal have recused from themselves from this vote. So VP finance, I'm going to vote. Sorry, Ria, you have a list?
Yeah, I just wanted to say on the discussion too, like just to reconsider due to the fairness of the discussion as well, and also so that we have all the information, a lot of information that wasn't able to be discussed during the in-camera session due to limited time as well, and really to like do our due diligence and make sure that we are considering a lot of different aspects to this very sensitive and very important motion as well.
Okay, thank you, Ria. Nikki, if it's okay, can I just go to the vote, please?
Okay, sure, yeah.
Cool, okay. So President internal have recused themselves. I'm going to vote against. Next would be VP UAA.
This is on the vote to reconsider.
Reconsider. Yeah.
I vote against.
Against. Okay. VP external. Ishana.
In favor.
In favor. Ria.
In favor.
Okay. VP events. Vaibhav.
Against.
Against. So the motion to reconsider fails 2-3. You do not have a majority. Okay. So we're moving on to the motion 8.3, which is ratification of actions. I'm going to be enforcing a strict 2-minute limit on this because Nikki really needs to go and to speaking time. You can see it up in the chat. If you guys need me to repost that, please let me know. I can do that. Oh, that's a lot of scrolling. Okay. Let's copy that. And let's copy that. So yes, so sorry, just to clarify, Nikki, I'm holding everyone to 2 lists and I'm holding everyone to 2 minutes per list. Just for the sake of time. Okay, cool. So motion 8.3, ratification of actions. It's as listed in the chat. I'm not going to read all that. I've already read it at the beginning of the meeting. Can I have a mover, please?
VP UAA.
VP UAA moves. Can I have a seconder?
Events.
Event seconds. Okay, going into discussion. I don't see anything. Okay. If there's no discussion, I'm just going to call for a vote seeking unanimous consent. If anyone dissents, please use the raise hand feature on Zoom or mention so in chat. I will call on you for your vote. Seeing none, this passes unanimously. So 8.3 is passed by a vote of 5-0. That brings us to adjournment. Okay, yeah, adjournment. Be it resolved to adjourn the meeting at 10:32 a.m. Can I get a mover, please?
VP UAA.
VP UAA, and can I get a seconder?
Events.
Events, thank you. Any discussion? No. Okay. Okay, I'm going to call the question then. Seeking unanimous consent. If you dissent to ending the meeting, use the raise hand feature on Zoom or use the chat, and I will call on you for your vote. Hearing none, we are adjourned at 10:32. Thank you, everyone. I know this was last minute. It's early in the morning too. Usually we have it in our meetings in the afternoon, but as we saw in the in-camera section, this was urgent. So I'm going to end the recording.